So now let's move on to a second scenario where we'll seek to identify vulnerable populations. So in this example, let's suppose that you're a county government in Georgia looking to create an equity task force to achieve the goal of decreasing health disparities, focused primarily on the disproportionate prevalence of adverse childhood experiences across communities of color. So the project uses a strategy of building community collaborations across sectors to set and reach equity goals for the community. So with that in mind, we'll go back to PolicyMap. So as a first variable, we could identify communities of color by putting different race and ethnicity data on the map, or we could look at child poverty or any one of the indicators that are in these menus individually, social vulnerability, etc. But this particular example is also a great time to use PolicyMap's 3-layer maps feature, which is the part of the platform that allows you to identify areas that meet multiple criteria. So in this case, I'm going to go here to 3-layer maps. And as a first variable to identify communities of color, I'll put the non-white population on the map, which is here under demographics. And you'll see when I add that first variable that the whole map is purple because it's showing selecting the default range of 0 to 100% of the population. But then as I change the numbers in this box right here, I'm able to select the specific criteria that is going to be helpful for me. So in this case, now all the purple areas on the map are showing areas where more than 60% or more of the population is a race other than white. And this is from the Census American Community Survey. So then we can add a second variable. So we'll go ahead and add the percent of people under the age of 5 living in poverty, which we'll find here under incomes and spending. You'll see the different age breakdowns. And again, when I add the second layer, you didn't see any change in the purple that's on the map because the default range of 0 to 100% is selected. But then again, I can just edit my ranges here to set a different threshold. So now we see that all the purple areas on the map now are areas in the Atlanta region where 60% or more of the population are communities of color and 40% or more of people under 5 are living in poverty. And then you're able to put a third variable in as well. Just zoom in a little bit here. So we can, to further hone in on young children at risk, we can look at areas with a high concentration of children under 5 with disabilities. And you'll find that under demographics. Again, there are multiple age breakdowns available. And we can just set the range here. We'll say where 10% or more of children under 5 have disabilities. So now you can see that we see far fewer purple areas on the map. So because these are areas that meet all 3 of these criteria. And now if I click on a purple area, I'll be able to see the value for each of the 3 criteria that I set. So in this particular census tract, around 90% of the population is not white, 43% of the people under 5 live in poverty, and 12% of people under 5 have a disability. So now that we've identified some areas of focus in the Atlanta area, the next step for the Equity Task Force might be thinking about community resources and where there might be gaps in existing resources. So we could add Head Start centers to the map if we go to education. We can see now where existing Head Start centers are. We could color code those if we want to see which ones offer early Head Start for the younger crowd. And now we can see that in the purple areas we've identified, there doesn't seem to be much availability of early Head Start. We can also add other potential resources and partners, such as community health centers, schools, nonprofits serving youth, or any of the other community asset data that we have in PolicyMap. So I'll show here, for example, we're looking at community health centers, all these orange squares on the map. We can see where those are located. We could also add schools, filter out those that are elementary schools, since we're thinking about the younger crowd here. And now we're able to see, get a clear picture of where some of the existing resources are and where they are not, and potentially some partners that the Equity Task Force might want to consider working with.